Hi everyone, I thought it was about time I got out my Worlds of Wonder and did another one of these little squares of flowers that we have been doing. We've done these two a long time ago, but I thought we would do this one. I think I've done this one before with different colours, but I don't think it matters. I grabbed this colour cube card from Sarah Renae Clark's box. This is number 161 from her box number 1. You can obviously you can buy these, you can get them online, and she even has a file which tells you which colours of different brands of pencils match better. But I've made the matches myself. I've had a look at these colours, you can look on the back as well, and I've decided what I think works best. The cream pink is a colour that I haven't seen in very many sets of pencils but Prismacolor. Therefore I have picked Prismacolors to go with these. So the cream pink is this one that I've picked, is the beige rose. Okay, so I think it's quite a close match, or a close-ish match. Now this one is called Cool Grey, but it's very blue. Sorry, we're looking at this one. So I have decided to pick the periwinkle. I think it's quite close. And then we have the charcoal, and what did I pick for that? Hang on about a minute. I've got the 70% Cool Grey, which I thought was quite a good match. Now dark blue, I struggled to find something which looked similar to these grey blues, so in the end I went for the slate grey, or it might be close to the charcoal, but that's what I thought for those two, rather than try and find a dark blue, which I couldn't find, and then a black. So those are the ones we have matched up. I have just noticed that this is very blunt and I don't have the correct pencil sharpener with me, so I might have to go and sort that out in a minute. Now, let's just move the card aside, come in close to our little square, and we can have a look and a think about what's going on here. Now we have flowers, petals, leaves and a background. So decisions to be made with regards to where we use these colours. So, sorry, here are the colours. Now, I'm going to make a quick decision. The background could be black. That's quite an easy place to put it. But I feel that that might be too dark. I could do it for the centres of the flowers. I think that might work better. Our petals and leaves. Now we've got blues, which are very pretty. We have got, yes, that's what I think I'm going to do. Blues for the petals, or the slate grey and the periwinkle. We've got several different types of flowers, so we can do slightly different colours. This pink for the background, the black for the centres, and this grey, the cool grey, for the leaves. I think that'll work. So that's what I'm going to try. Ooh. Right, so I'm going to start with my darkest colour, I think. I don't tend to do that with Prismas. Let me just move my card out of the way. So I'm going to start with my black, and I'm going to do the flower centres. And what I like to do with flower centres is try not to make them the same shade of colour throughout. So I'm going to try and make them a little bit lighter towards the middle. And we'll just do that for each one. So I don't really want to leave a white bit like I had to start with. Just make it a little bit lighter. Just realised how late it's getting. My family are due home soonish, and they might make a noise. I'll have to just listen out for them. There we go. And just all of them the same, even though our petals aren't all going to be the same colour. We'll keep the centres the same, and we're going to keep the leaves the same, just partly because we've got such a limited colour palette. Although you could, you don't have to only have one of each colour. If you look on the card, you can see you've got a graduation, so you can have several. And the Prismas has a nice range of quite a few of these grey blues and things like that you could have picked. And you still can if you wish to, but I'm a bit worried doing this now, thinking maybe I'd stuck to the same brand of pencil for all the others, for the other two. I don't know, I've got no idea. Never mind. I know a lot of you, or some of you, have been asking me to do Prisma, so there we go. I don't do them very often. I've been practicing quite a lot lately because I've put my Prismas into a pencil case. Now, I don't do that much, but the Prisma box is so big it doesn't fit on my desk, so it sort of puts me off using them because I have to keep moving the trays around all the time and things like that. It's really annoying. I'm sure some of you agree. So I got a pencil case and they fit nicely if it's on my desk. It's a lot easier. Right, I am now very tempted to do the background and I need to sharpen my pencil, so hang on a minute. Right, I went off to get my dowel sharpener so I could get a nice sharp point, but also it seems to so this is the rosy beige. It seems to do a better job of sharpening Prismas compared to my Staedtler sharpener. Now the reason I'm doing this colour next is because I find that if I'm doing a lighter background than my foreground, specifically with Prismas, I often drag the colour from so if this leaf was already coloured in, there's a risk I would be dragging it with this colour into the background and make a dirty smudge. I've done that quite a bit lately, so I thought I'll do the lighter bit first, even though I did the, obviously I did the black first, but I didn't think I'd be doing this next to the black, even though I am here. So this is just plain colouring. Just getting the colour in the background. You might be tempted to do the leaves in the pink, and obviously if you want to you could. It does seem black background might work, pink leaves, don't know, but I just wanted to do it this way. I didn't want to use too much black, that was the reasoning really. I'm just not in the mood for using black today. I want to use different colours. Yeah, just a personal thing. No real reason for it. Sometimes I'm really in the mood for using black or doing very dark colours and it's lovely fun. Not today. It's quite cold today. It's the problem is I keep putting my cardigan on and then can't really see this, that doesn't stand out that much, but it's okay. And then getting a hot flush and having to take it off. And it's getting on my nerves. But anyway, that's the life. I've been told that the hot flushes don't ever go away, but they were getting a lot better as the weather got colder, and I wasn't really getting any. And then when I was getting them, it was actually quite nice. I was thinking, oh, this is just warming me up a bit, and I wasn't getting them very much. And then I had COVID and had a temperature for 3-4 days, and since then I've been getting them loads. It's like my brain's gone, oh, hot, yes, we can do that. But never mind, it's there's a lot worse things to have, and I'm at home, so I can just fling off my cardi and put it on again, and then if I get thirsty because I'm really hot, I can just grab a drink and I just don't worry about it. And I can feel my face burning up sometimes, but as no one is normally here to see or not taking any notice anyway. My family have always got their heads in their screens or on their screens, so yeah. Right, I think that we are done with that, and we can always go back to it. So I'm going to use the periwinkle for this big flower. So I'm going to try to fade the blue towards the tip of each petal. So put a few more layers down near the centre and then a bit less as we go out, and hopefully you will notice, but I don't know. It's quite pretty. It's definitely a very cold palette, isn't it? But obviously I'm sort of in the wintry section of my colour cue cards, which is a good thing really because it's the right time of year. And getting quite cold. Pictures make sense though. I'm just listening out. I can hear that my tumble dryer stopped. So I should probably go and sort it out really. But I'm quite in the mood for colouring this flower. There we go. Now you can always go over the bits where you want it a bit darker with an extra few layers once you've finished, if you don't feel that it's giving you enough contrast. It is up to you. And you can also use your blending pencil if you wish to not see the paper, but I don't mind. I'm quite happy with how it's looking, to be honest, so that's good. Now I am aiming to get this page completed and yesterday's cupcake page in Small Victories as well. Not sure quite when. I was going to do the cupcakes as sort of in the mornings, but I sort of filled up quite a lot of morning gaps at the moment with some other things. So I'm not sure, but I tend to just colour as the fancy takes me. Sometimes people ask for things and I'll do that, and other times I'll just do what I want, what I'm in the mood for. Now these turned over bits, I don't know, I'm going to just do them really light. I'm never ever sure what to do with them. I mean, it's obviously good to have them in a way because it makes it look more realistic, but in fact they're on every petal on the outside of the flower. It's probably not quite so realistic, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, it's oh, that's a bit messy. Now I have found with the colour cue cards that actually the best match is often Arteza, which is quite interesting. And I have the 48 set of Arteza Expert, and very often they have the right colours in, which is, I sort of almost expected these to be matched to Prismas more so. I don't know why, but of course there is always a similar-ish match, like this pink, for example. If you were looking for that in polychromos, my goodness, you'd struggle, wouldn't you? There really isn't one this colour. I am going to go for the slate grey now and do these flowers here. Yeah, you'd struggle to find a pink. You'd have to use the you could use either the light magenta, or I think you'd have to mix it with a one of the cool greys, wouldn't you, if you wanted to get that colour. And there isn't really this sort of grey blue. I guess the ultramarine would be the right grey. The cool grey would be the ultramarine. The dark blue, the indigo. This is the same flower here. Now I've got to make a decision. The other flowers, what colour do I do them? Do I do them in this colour or this colour? Actually, there are two other types of flowers, just looking. So we've got this one with the circles around, which looks different, and all the rest look the same. Oh, and we've got these circles. I think I'm going to do these circles in this colour. I'm just going to block that in. Now, do I do all the other flowers of blue? I would do this one in the blue, in this colour. I'm going to make these really dark. like that, just put a lot on and then make these a bit lighter. Actually ends up looking like it's a different colour when it isn't. There we go. And then I'm going to go back to the periwinkle blue for all the other flowers, but again I'm going to use them light like I did there, so that it looks like it's a slightly different colour pencil when it actually isn't. Use probably is a slightly lighter version of this colour that you could have chosen to use, but I have just picked the 5. So we've got one colour left after this, and it is our cool grey, which we'll be using for our leaves. Now you can choose to make it look like silver. I think that should be pink in there. Like it's shiny, or just keep it grey. And I think keeping it grey is probably the best option here, because I think otherwise it's not going to really work with the rest of the picture. You know, to suddenly have these sort of matte looking unshiny flowers suddenly with their silvery leaves. Let's just push the book down there a bit. I think it would look a bit strange. But if you did want to do silver, you just do it more colour at the base and the tip, fade it towards the middle, leave a little white line in the centre, and it would look like a shine, and it would look silvery. We're nearly there. It's quite quick. I can hear my family though, so I think it's them. I can have to stop the video, I think. Right, the family are all back, and I am trying to remember what I was doing. Aha, 70% cool grey for the leaves. Now we've got different types of leaves, so I thought we might do different amounts, intensity of colour. So let's start with these little ones. I'm going to do these quite light because it's going to look quite similar to the actual blossom berry. So I'm just putting a really light layer on, like that. Now, might do the same with these. Keep it quite pale and not do much with it. And these two. But for this one, I'm going to do harder, more intense colour, and I'm going to fade it towards the tip because the leaves are quite big. There's space. My neighbour has been. I just popped downstairs, chatted to the family quickly, made a drink. My son both wanted a drink, so I made one for myself and them. I wanted one too. And then my neighbour started outside with his chainsaw, or I think it's his hedge trimmer actually, not chainsaw. But he seems to have just stopped, so I'm hoping that I can get this finished before he starts again, because it was quite noisy and it's this side of the house. Right, so there are those. I'm going to continue with a more intense colour on these, I think. Maybe even darker. Let's try and make them look a little bit different to each other. So this is our sort of charcoal, I guess. These sort of overlapping, so I'm going to try and make that one underneath a bit darker. I think it would be anyway. And it'll just stand out a little bit. So these are sort of medium intensity, I guess. I think it's it's working. I think it's definitely looking wintry. It's not the prettiest of colours, but I find it quite fascinating and interesting. Now we can add some white into this, or some silver. What do I got here? Not sure if I get a bit worried about adding white onto Prismas, because sometimes they bleed into the white, but I don't think these colours do. Right, let's have a little look. I'm just going to sit back. What I might do is put some white, because although we don't have white on our card, there it is. You can't see all of it in shot at the same time. There you go. I often do just use a bit of white anyway, so I think I'm going to use some white on the black. So I'm going to use my jelly roll actually and just do a little bit. Let's just straighten you up a tad. So I think just in the centre, just do some dots. I think it's just going to lift it a bit because that's very dark. We can do it on all of them. And oh, I haven't done it on those. Just need to try and make sure I don't put my hand in the pen. Good at doing that. It's my special skill. There we go. Now there's a few gaps where I think it needs a bit of pink. So I'm just going to do those before I finish. So this is the beige, rosy beige, sorry. And I think we need a bit in there and a little bit more there. Yes, here. There were definitely a few places that I noticed I'd missed. Up here too. Oh yes, that was the one, big one. Just scanning my eyes around, you'll probably spot some that I've missed. But there we go. Last top touch. These round ones here, which might be berries. I'm going to put a little line there. That's it. Now it's quite hard for you to see. Let's hold it flat for you. There it is, finished. And let's actually put the card in shot. We'll put it upside down because it's easier actually. Because if I put it that way up, you can't see it. We can put it that way. That might be easier. There you go. So there is the yeah, all that way, like that. So yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope that was okay. We will come back and do more of these at some point. Some might be with cards, some might be without. We might use different types of pencils. I haven't really decided yet, but hopefully that one was okay. And you can see how to make quite a wintry colour palette, which I think actually came out quite pretty and I rather enjoyed. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe, all those lovely things, and thank you again and happy colouring.